Okay, so welcome. I'm going to be showing how to do, okay, me and my cat, we're going to be showing you how to do the stitch that I do for my beaded rope. It's a different take. I know different cultures do it, and there's a weaving way, there's a way that you just kind of go around and around as a stitch, and then you just continue to bead in between or do a reinforcement stitch in between and then go around. But the one I'm doing is kind of a interlocking style, and I'm just going to show just like a quick way of how I do it. And it's not perfect. The way I do it is not maybe not correct for every tradition or for every style, but I hope that someone might find it useful and find it interesting. And yeah, so today I'm going to be using the colors that I use for my second beaded barrette that I ever did. It matches my traditional wear of like the ribbon skirt and a ribbon dress top that was made for me when my husband and I were chosen to do to walk in a processional to represent the Native American Indigenous people of Canada for my church was doing like a little international fair. So I was supporting my husband with him wearing his ribbon shirt by having a traditional garment made to represent the people. So yeah, and something that I can also wear to powwows, and also I can wear for ceremonies and that sort of thing too. So it was a very important piece to me. It has the colors, the blue, pink, and purple that were also in our wedding, and then also those represent different things in our life that are personal to me, my husband. So yeah, so I made a hair barrette. I had started a while back when I was first starting out with it. I made you can kind of see, it's not on autofocus, but anyway, I'll show you pictures. But I had started something, it was like kind of a necklace thing, but I wasn't sure what I was making, and I never got to finish it in time for when I was going to wear the regalia. But it's probably not the best anyway, so maybe I'll make it into a bracelet eventually, or I don't know, we'll see what happens. But anyway, maybe I'll just reuse the beads for something else. But I'm going to attempt to start over by showing you this tutorial, so you'll get to see me kind of wing it on this one. So basically I start with my rope. I apologize, I do not know the size of my rope. I do not know the diameter, unfortunately, but you can probably use almost any size. But the bigger, I think that it's a little bit better, like the thicker the rope is, because then you can kind of really, you have more opportunity to do more styles, more textures and patterns with a bigger rope, because you'll have more beads to work with to change them up and that sort of thing. So without further ado, I will get started. What you need your rope, your beads, and scissors, and your beading thread. I apologize for the mess. I am a messy beader. This is not even half as bad as it usually gets when I bead, so bear with me. Okay, so we have our hi Bob. We have our thread, our needle threaded, and so we are ready to start. So you can either cut your rope to the size that you want for, say, a necklace or your bracelet, taking into consideration like the clasps. I don't know, depending on how you finish it. Some people use leather, some people use actual finishes and glue it or sew it in. I most likely will probably get something glued. I know it's not the best, but I'm starting out with this stuff, so please bear with me. I don't have necessarily the best advice for the finishes, but you can just cut. I'm gonna leave it long because I don't know exactly what I'm doing with it yet. But if you do cut it for like a bracelet and that sort of thing, always be sure to leave a little bit on the ends, maybe even like half an inch or something, just in case you know things unravel, or in case you don't know how your finishes are going to be. So it's always nice to have a little bit extra on the end. So to start mine, I take the needle through see it through my rope, and I've tied a nice thick knot on the end of my my thread here, so it doesn't go through. Once it feels nice and tight, I go back through it on top. Sorry, I hope this is clear. Okay, and then I like to go in between the where the knot is at the end, just to almost like make a loop. So I go in between the end of it. I'm basically just trying to knot it up so that it doesn't unravel or it doesn't come through. So whichever way you find, if you're already an avid sewer, you know, whatever way that you find that you can secure it before you start, it's the best thing to do. Keeps things in place. So you just go back and forth a few times, it's up to you. Okay, so now that you started that, we start with a row right around, we're gonna do a row right around your, just a regular loop of beads right around the crown of your rope. And so just choose, I'm just gonna choose one color to do it. Whatever will be easier, maybe pink. So it depends on the size of your rope, how many beads you're gonna use, but just do it to fit. And then we can go from there. Bob. Alright, my cat's a little bit jealous. He doesn't like when I talk to anyone but him, so I'm sorry. Bobby. So, now that you have your string of beads here ready to go, we're going to wrap around with the first strand of beads. Try to keep it tight to the beginning of the thread, right around the end, and then we take the needle. This is a bad view. We take the needle, and it's gonna go through. It's gonna go through the beginning, the back side of the beginning, the first bead. Yeah. There you go. Right there. Just like that. Right? So now you have your beads have like a nice little crown, like a nice little circle around top of your rope. So now that that's done, we start to do the interlocking. I'm gonna try and see if I can adjust the camera so you can actually see it properly. We're going to skip every other bead and go up into the next one with our new bead. And we're just going to continue to do that. Put a new bead on and skip a bead. We're going into like the left direction or whichever direction you like. And we're going to skip the next bead and it's going to be right underneath that one. Okay? And we're going to continue to do that all the way around. Just skipping to the next, skipping to the next bead, skipping one bead, into the next one, just like that. And it's gonna look like it's fraying out, but that's just how it starts before it curves down. Skip to the next bead. Skip to the next bead. And then you just kind of keep going. So I'll show you real quickly how we've skipped every other bead with the dark ones. I mean, I know they're kind of sticking up, but you kind of see how that first pink row has now been looped with the blue row. So you basically just continue that. You'll start to even see where the gap is, where the new bead should go. So in this case, how close can I get to the camera? So in this case, our thread is here, right? And we're going to take a bead. I'll use a white one so you can see it. Take your white bead, and it is going to go into that blue bead because it's the next one, right? The first couple rows are a little funky, but then it gets it starts to look right. So we just continue to do that. Add another bead and go into the next one. That does not look, almost is going upside down because it wants to. Again, through the blue bead. So you go all the way around with it. So you're starting to see where the pink was, now the blue is kind of in between, and then like the white is down at the bottom. That's the way it starting to look, so it kind of shows you the structure of it. So now we've met back around to where the white is. And so we could start with pink again, or we could do another row of blue. Maybe we'll do pink, that way we can continue to see how it progresses. So we'll do the pink row here. And it usually takes about 2 rounds before you make like a solid like line. So that's why it can get kind of tricky. It might sometimes be hard to keep your spot because you're not sure what row you're on, but just gotta focus. So through the white, take that pink bead through. Again. Sorry, I know I'm looking at it, but I don't know if you could see it. Through the lower row, which is the white. Boom, here you go. So I'm going to do a few and then show you how far I've come. I'm not going to finish this in time to be able to edit this video for a friend that's been asking for it. So I'm just going to, I'll show you where I left off on, and I'm just going to show you how you'd end it. It's basically on using the old one that I had, which is all lumpy and all that, but it's good to see where I came from. Alright, so I'm going to just show you how you end your beaded rope. Well, at least how I do it. And it's pretty simple. Because most of the time I end up gluing my ends into the findings, the metal findings. I just end it the way I started it, which is basically by taking your thread and making a knot in and out throughout the rope. Pretty simple. Until you feel confident that it's not going to unravel. And then you're done. That's it.